What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to the Diablo 4 Research Institution. I'm your host, Professor Iceman. Appreciate you guys coming by. Like this damn video if you will, subscribe to the page, and swat that bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my patrons. May you have many wives. Links in the description below. So basically, I have attained OCCY, or the Oculus, if you please to say it that way. That's right, the unique wand in Diablo 4 that's reminiscent of its Diablo 2 counterpart. But is it as good? We're going to figure this out in just a minute here. But nonetheless, it's called the Oculus, unique wand. And this one I found 925 item power, so I was quite pleased with that. I masterworked it 4 out of 12. But nonetheless, it adds some damage. This one gives 24.7 damage, plus 1 maximum evade charges, which is a really odd trait to have on a weapon, so that's part of what makes this thing unique. Unfortunately, I only rolled 1 out of the 2. Attacks reduce evade's cooldown by 0.8 seconds. But hold on, why is that good? We'll find out in just a moment here, because this is actually a synergy with evade. The OCCY is. Plus 5 to teleport, so a massive increase in teleport there. Now, it can range from 5 to 11, so I'm actually going to farm for another one of these things, because I kind of like it. I just love being able to teleport more frequently. And this item enables you to do that if you spec your character correctly. Not that I have entirely done that just yet, and I am using this unique armor that actually increases teleport's cooldown, so I might try this build without this armor, but we'll explore that perhaps in a future video. But here's the tricky part. Here's the kicker. Here's the sweet little juice that OCCY gives you in Diablo 4. Gain the effect of the teleport enchantment for free. Alright? When you evade using teleport enchantment, you are taken to a random location. Now that's kind of a pain in the ass, but I'm going to show you it in effect. So that's kind of what the Diablo 2 one was all about, was it would take you to a random spot, and sometimes it would get you killed, and sometimes it would save you. So is that a good thing to have on this unique wand? Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. But nonetheless, let's head to a Helltide, and let's test this little sucker out. Now mind you, this is my Chain Lightning build, alright? And she's only level 80. Her gear is pretty trash. So don't set your expectations too high in that regard. I've been experimenting with this character. I've been taking the path less traveled. I haven't been looking at any guides. I've just been messing around. But it has been a spiritual journey nonetheless. And I recommend you guys try that out. Try to make some character and just don't look at a guide. Just screw around with the Paragon, screw around with the item aspects and the skill tree and all that and see how it goes. But let's head to the Helltide and see how this freaking item performs. Now, after that, I'm going to show you OCCY from Diablo 2, and we're going to compare the two. And we're also going to check out some of the changes that has just taken place with the Sorcerer in Diablo 4 as of like yesterday. New changes, new buffs, this, that, and the third. Alright, so here he is in the Helltide. Now check this out. When I teleport, I'm going to suckle enemies into my character. You see that? Suckles the enemies in, and then unstable currents and all that. Lightning spear, which I'm not too much of a fan of, but everybody uses it, it seems, and I think it has some benefits. Where it's a conjuration spell, Conjurer's Spear of Lightning, that seeks out enemies for 6 seconds, dealing 1900 to 2400 damage per hit. Critical strikes apply vulnerable for 3 seconds, which I think is part of why people use this thing. And then a few modifications after that with crackling energy, this and that. Now, teleport, or OCCY does give the teleport enchantment for free. So here's the teleport enchantment. Evade is replaced with a short-range teleport on a 23.9 second cooldown. This version of teleport does not make you unstoppable. So check this out. I'm just going to hit spacebar, and here's where my pointer is. So you keep an eye on where that pointer is, and we'll see where she goes. Backwards. And then my evade, I have 2 cooldowns with evade. Let's try it again. So I'm going to put the pointer right over here. And there she goes, over there instead. So, yeah, it can potentially be defensive, but not always the case. Sometimes it'll really get your ass in trouble. But nonetheless, that's what I've been doing with this character. Teleporting into a mob. I'll cast Chain Lightning, and I collect Crackling Energies. And what's really cool is she actually casts Nova, so it's kind of like the Diablo 2 Sorcerer. Now I need to work on it, because watch this. She's going to cast a Nova after killing an enemy and collecting the Crackling Energy. Looks like she's actually collecting far less Crackling Energies than what she was. Probably need to screw around with my skills a bit more. Here's a couple. 1, 2. We'll collect another few of those. There's one. Nope, didn't cast it. Because she has a unique amulet as well that casts Nova. There it is. It's a massive area of effect, in fact. So yeah, I think this build might have some potential to just be sort of a fun, interesting, pathless taken build, basically. And if you can get it right, I think it would be great at clearing Hell Tides, because it's not the greatest in terms of DPS, but it is awesome in terms of just how much it can spread its damage around the screen. Just you're like constantly hitting like all the enemies on the screen. It's just awesome. But let me show you the OCCY from Diablo 2. And by the way, here's that amulet that I'm using. That casts Nova, which also kind of makes you like a Diablo 2 sorceress, where upon collecting Crackling Energy, there's a 15% chance to release a Lightning Nova, dealing 5,800 lightning damage, increased by 60% for every 100 intelligence you have. And my current bonus is 540% to that Nova, because of all the intelligence that this character has. So basically you can scale the hell out of that with adding to your intelligence. But okay, let's take a look at the old school OCCY. Here it is. And could they potentially buff the one that we get in Diablo 4? So the OCCY right here, as you can see, it's a unique swirling crystal, which is a nightmare version of a wand that only the sorceress can use. This one had a 25% chance to cast level 1 teleport when struck, and a +3 to sorceress skill levels, 30% faster cast rate, which is something interesting that we don't get in Diablo 4. I think it's just all attack speed here, so they don't have like cast rate effects in Diablo 4. 20% enhanced defense, 20 to vitality, 20 to energy, all resistances +20, so that's a pretty big number. That would be an awesome thing to have in Diablo 4. Some mana after each kill, and some magic find. So yeah, unfortunately, the one here doesn't really compare all that well. Like, it doesn't give you your mana on kill, which I think would be awesome to have. And the skill levels, which is also kind of interesting that they don't give it skill levels. Why wouldn't they say like +2 or 3 to core skills? Because then it would especially work out with the Chain Lightning Sorcerer. But I just kind of think they should buff this thing just a tidbit more. But let me know what you guys think about that, or would that be too powerful if they were to try something like that? She's also wearing these unique pants where enemies that die while frozen have a 29% chance to unleash a Frost Nova. And I was using this before I switched over to Chain Lightning, so I actually got to switch those damn things out, because what a waste of a slot that is. But let's check out the recent changes for the Sorcerer that are taking place right now if you wanted to make one. So here are the changes that are implemented right now for the Sorcerer in Diablo 4, and these just took place a couple days ago. So the Sorcerer isn't a very popular class, and I made one after my Necromancer, who I got to level 100. I was doing pretty high pits with the Necromancer. Just got a little bored with it, and I wanted to have something a bit more active, like a caster. And I thought about, well, wow, what about the old school Diablo 2 Sorceress, where you could just teleport all over the screen and just make it explode constantly? And so that's kind of the incentive as to why I wanted to make a Sorcerer here. Now again, I need to get rid of this armor, basically. I need to get rid of these pants, and I'll try to augment a whole Oculus teleport build, and we'll see how that goes. But nonetheless, let's take a look at these changes here. It's the Sorcerer. Skills. Ice Armor. Barrier amount increased from 30% of base life to 25% of maximum life. So a maximum buff, or a pretty big buff to Ice Armor. I just started using that again because I was using Frost Nova instead of it. But yeah, basically I'm using both the Fire Armor and the Ice Armor, and that's a good way to go. Shimmering Teleport. Duration increased from 3 to 4 seconds. The Shimmering Teleport is the one that gives you more damage reduction after teleport, I believe, so that's quite nice. Incinerate, which is a popular build. You see the sorcerers going around shooting the 3 beams of incinerate, like there's some like Jedi Fire Master or some shit. Damage reduction increased from 15% to 20% while using it, so they should be able to do the pits a bit more effectively now. Passives, potent warding. Maximum resistance increased from 123% to 246%. Adjusted functionality no longer excludes basic skill casts. Glass cannon, additional damage taken reduced from 369% to 246%, so a bit more there. And that's a skill from Diablo 3, isn't it? Where you put points into that, you do more damage, but you'd also take more damage. Align the elements. Persistence duration increased from 2 to 3 seconds. Conduction, movement speed increased from 369% to 4812%. Yeah, and I'm going to mess with that a little bit. I believe that's the lightning one, where all the critical strikes you make with lightning, you're going to run faster. And yeah, the duration was increased from 3 to 4 seconds. So that's going to really help synergize this electrocute / chain lightning build that I'm working on right now. Because she's going to be critically striking shit all over the screen and just running faster and faster the more things that she gets critical strikes with. So I just think that would be godly, to be some character that can run really fast and teleport all over the place and just fill the screen with lightning. And novas is kind of what I want. Electrocution. Reduced enemy damage dealt. Increased from 5, 10, 15% to 6, 12, 18%. Warmth. Healing per nearby burning enemy. Increased from 369% to 5, 1, 1.5%. Or 0.3, 0.6, 0.9%. to 0.5, 1, and 1.5%, so buff there as well. Healing per nearby boss enemy increased from 0.6, 1.2, 1.8% to 2, 4, 6%. Inner Flames. Bonus damage while healthy increased from 369% to 4, 8, 12%. Overflowing Energy. Cooldown reduction for hitting elite enemies increased from 0.25 seconds to 0.35 seconds. Avalanche. And I was using that when I was a Cold Sorg. Bonus damage increased from 45% to 60%. Combustion. Bonus damage per unique source of burning increased from 2% to 4%. And then there's all this other shit. Just, you guys, I'll link this in the description of this video. A few buffs to some of the unique items for the Sorcerer. It looks like these are fire-oriented items. Staff of Endless Rage. Bonus damage increased from 40 to 60% to 50 to 70%. Yeah, and they did, of course, make the pit a bit more accessible. The bosses scale now more with the enemies in the pit, so you can clear the pit a bit better now. They took away the Holy Bolt Elixir synergy that it had with minions. That was just a bit overpowered. But some are complaining that they just made this game a bit too easy now, where it's just too easy to run around and kill everything. Too easy to accomplish higher pits, too easy to do the Ubers. I haven't really messed with endgame stuff in a few minutes. I've been messing around with a Sorcerer. My Necromancer, I wouldn't mind trying the pit again. I think I got level 85, 90 pit when I was just messing around. And that was before they nerfed the boss. But yeah, they have made it a bit easier, which is somewhat of a debatable topic right now. Some are saying it's just too easy. But of course, you also have the complainers who say it's too hard. I think back on games like Diablo 2, for example, and that's kind of what happened, is it would just get too easy. But of course, that game had the longevity still. People have been playing that game for 25 years, myself included. I actually played Diablo 2 when it first released, day one, basically. I didn't get the beta, but I played day one. I remember I went to the game store and I bought the box, and it was just such an awesome moment. But my friend was playing the beta, and he had a damn good time with it. But nonetheless, that's how Diablo 2 kind of is there's like a cap in the difficulty, and then once you like exceed that, you can just start experimenting with builds and messing around. Whereas if the cap is really high for the difficulty, it kind of forces people into the same builds. So I don't know, did they make it too easy? Or what are they doing here? What do you guys think? And how is this going to compare to Path of Exile 2? I plan to play some Path of Exile 2 when that comes out. Let me know in the comments if any of you guys are going to be playing PoE 2. I might play it on my other channel and not this one. But we'll see how things go. But just let me know your thoughts on these matters below in the comments. And again, like this video if you will, subscribe to the page, hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace be with you.